What's up?
Not much. Did you like the video I just showed you?
I did like the video. Jamie. I did like the video.
What was it?
There's this woman, this Christian mom, getting upset about rap music today. And so she read the entire lyrics to North North by Vince Staples while
which has
crying.
a lot of N-words in it.
Yeah, she really...
And she dropped every single N-word
She
in
said
it.
Her, like, kids in the room listening to her do it, and her whole point is, like, I can't believe my kids have to hear this on the radio. It's like, they're going to have to hear you say it into YouTube. Like, they're gonna...
It was incredible. It's so fun.
a spoken word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Was it Bitch You Thirsty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bitch,
man.
you thirsty.
Has anyone like put a beat under it yet?
There is a remix that I
Oh, hell yeah.
There is a remix. I
Oh,
haven't watched it.
let's watch that at the end.
That would
Let's
be
just
good.
watch it
Excited.
instead of doing the podcast.
There's a
that's
line
true.
where he, like, makes a joke about abortions, and she, like,
She burst into tears.
bursts into tears.
Oh.
Like,
So
it's, like, so lighthearted.
Hoes need abortions, and she just like says it while
Hoes
crying.
need abortion.
It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
So funny. I think it's like a few years old. I was like, I
Yeah.
can't believe I've missed this.
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't seen it. I'm keen to watch it
Oh,
now.
yeah, you go
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
It's like 11 minutes long. It's like-
Good.
Worth every
for
second.
3
Let's
minutes long.
let's post a link to it in the like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
podcast
absolutely
feed.
we will.
Man, I love, just getting closer to death one YouTube video at a time. Really eating up the minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we know
awesome.
that's what you left the party last night to go and do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for someone whose life is essentially like your twilight hours are all YouTube based.
It's
Oh,
wild.
yeah.
I've got a friend who always sends me YouTube videos that are like 45 minutes long.
You can't be doing
And I'm
that.
like, are you okay?
What are the
I
videos?
was like, did you watch this? She's like, oh, this is like a discussion on. It's like, but it's like two girls like who are discussing like reality TV, but
Oh,
like
Lord.
the politics of it or something. And I'm like, this is. I don't know what about this that you thought I'd be interested in.
I've had a few people send me TED Talks, and I'm just like,
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch this.
Yeah, I like the idea of like a close girlfriend of Lauren just being like, have you heard this guy's name's Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, he's got some really interesting ideas.
And here's one, it's like this is an hour supercut of everything Zizek's ever said that's like insightful.
There's one TED Talk I watched, and it's a TEDx talk.
Was it
and
Reuven
it's to-
Govenda's one?
It's by someone we know.
Can you confirm or deny who it is?
And I do watch it to, laugh to myself
I
sometimes.
thought you were going to say jerk off.
Not quite. And look, who it is isn't relevant, I think, at this juncture.
No,
in
probably
particular.
not.
No, it's Reuven Govenda. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I think Christian mum is maybe where I should be going with my life. I think that's the next move for the big dog.
You could probably use a bit more of that influence, I think.
Well, yeah. I think I like the idea of getting outraged, like being like using that as a way to like rehab my image.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, I've gone like full Christian now, and then just doing like long YouTube screeds, being like,
Did you hear about this? There's these two young women Christian YouTubers, and their whole thing is like they're like young women, and they talk about like being modest and purity and stuff. Like it's all pretty gross. And then they were like mourning their great grandfather or something and talking about how he was in the war, and then it came out that he was a Nazi. Did you hear about this?
that's so sick.
Yeah, all right, that's another video we'll include in the, in the link.
That must happen sometimes, though, right? Like Germans have grandchildren,
Yeah,
but
it'd
it's
be
very funny.
complicated.
Yeah, it's like you don't just openly go like, it's real
Yeah.
tragic what they did to him.
But I think their tone was like pretty psycho.
Did they know like the whole time?
They knew,
Like,
and they were like, he worked so hard.
he made the trains run on
Well,
time.
Annabelle and Samantha Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, and remember, don't wear shorts above your knees.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so sick. It's like the idea of, like, I guess were Nazis were like pretty Christian, but not like super Christian, right?
I don't think religion really had that much
Like, I know
to
it's-
do
yeah,
with.
it's
Well,
not
I mean,
part of
like
it,
it
like-
did have a lot to do with
Yeah.
some of the stuff they did, but like
It was more which religion you shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't want. I hate to tell you this right now.
You got some bad news for me
They
about.
don't really like Jewish people.
Oh no, that's really turned me against them.
Yeah.
I thought all their cool ideas about, I guess, war tactics. I don't really know anything about the Nazis other than that they were fascists and that they fought a war on two fronts.
Andrew's looking at Jamie like, "Tell me about him." Like,
Yeah, that's every episode
like
of
what
this.
is it? But what does it
He
mean?
thinks my grandfather was a Nazi. as well.
Yeah.
Wait, he was?
No, they got bombed.
No, because my grandfather was
Was a Nazi. For yours? No.
No, your great grandfather was the vaudevillian stand-up comedian who died after bombing.
Oh,
shit.
Jamie has an
Oh,
update
Who
on
froze to
that.
death on a
No.
park
I
bench.
can't believe I forgot about this. So, Lauren, do you know about the
No.
first step of the story? Okay.
Okay.
So Hastings
Quick version.
found out that, like, in his family genealogy,
My great grandfather.
bombing runs in their blood.
Yeah.
So, like, his
No, we don't know anything. There's no
his-
way you can tell it was a bomb.
So his great grandfather went out and did a gig one night. He was like a vaudeville
Like piano.
comedian, and he
Yeah.
was doing his famous bit
I've been
"Ass
doing stand-up for
Baby."
5 years.
I was gonna
baby.
say.
Yeah,
I've been when I found
secretly,
out about
portly,
What,
ass
what
baby.
country is this?
England. This is in
England.
England.
Yeah.
And when I found this out, I've been doing comedy for like 4 years already.
Wow.
Like, and my dad was like, "Oh, you know, you're like great grandfather."
Yeah, and when you told us you'd been doing comedy for about 7 years.
Yeah,
And what year was this?
it was when my grandfather was 4.
So you're
So, like,
great.
So he would have been
Early
like
times.
he'd be in his 80s or something now if he was still alive, I guess.
Wow.
So like 80 years ago maybe.
yeah. So he bombed doing "Ass Baby," a
Yeah.
famous Hastings family bit,
Mm.
and then he went out and got drunk and fell asleep on a park bench after bombing and froze
Like
to
drunk.
death.
passed
Yeah.
out.
Whoa,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
It's very scary.
maybe in your future.
I always think
Oh,
about
yeah.
Lieutenant Dan when people tell that story. Do you remember Lieutenant Dan from Forrest
Yeah,
Gump?
yeah, I
I
can
always, it's like that.
I can
Lieutenant
see.
Dan,
I can
you
see
ain't
you
got
as
no
like,
jokes.
There's an update from the wedding, Jamie. Do you want to fill Lauren in?
So I was very excited about this.
Oh, hang on. So this is wedding related.
Yeah, I went and
Okay,
talked
okay.
to Hastings' dad during the wedding.
Right.
I was like, I want to know more about like the failed comedian Hastings.
So the reason I found out so late is he died when the park bench thing happened when my grandfather was 4.
Yeah.
And my grandfather's dead now. So it's
Yeah.
like my dad, my granddad didn't even know him really. He was
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
know, so it's like we don't really have a lot of info.
And what was his name?
Can't remember.
What?
Something Osborne. His last name was Osborne.
Osborne.
I swear you've said it before.
I don't know my great grandfather's name.
Mm.
I know my grandfather's name, but I don't know my great grandfather's name.
So anyway,
Mm.
Probably
I
the same,
went
you
and
know.
I asked him. I was like, "So how about like he's got failed comedian in the bloodline?"
All right.
With-
Well, that's. I'm still
Yeah.
going. I'm still working on it.
Yeah,
You never know.
and Hastings' dad like lights up, and he was like, "Mate, not just one. There's 4." And so
What?
Shut up.
I was like, "You're kidding," and he was like, because he was saying that like not only did Hastings' great grandfather did it, his
My dad
great
very obnoxiously tried to insert himself in there. I thought, which I thought was
No, he
unruly.
didn't. He didn't. He said great-grandfather, grandfather, all peripherally involved at being bad at comedy or being bad at comedy.
Yeah.
And then it skipped just him. And then he said with a lot of malice in his tone, and now it's moved to Andrew as well.
What did your grandfather do? Was he also a performer?
It wasn't his job. It was like he did like some like musical funny stuff. He like was a pianist and a singer.
So, but
He did tech for.
Yeah, and then your great grandfather was also like a pianist as
They
well.
all did like musical comedies.
And so now you've just dropped that other skill entirely.
Yeah.
And
well,
just-
my stepdad keeps telling me to be a musical comedian, but I don't know.
Man,
how
you've tried everything else at this point. You may as well give it a go.
But I keep telling him I don't like. I keep.
But it's in your blood to be bad
yeah,
at
It's
it.
in your
it's like hard to
blood.
be like I don't want to be a hack. Like it's hard to be.
Are you awake, love? With
There's-
Andrew Hastings.
yeah, there's no like emo musical comedy.
That's true. That wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't the kind of music I liked to play though. Really, to be honest.
You didn't like vaudeville music?
No. Or yeah, no. I could do musical emo comedy. That could be fun.
Do that. That'd be
MCR's
funny.
already pretty funny.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, you could, you're always looking for an angle.
Yeah, I am always looking for an angle. Just
But it's-
making money.
Just that he like
Comedy.
said so readily. He was like
Manipulation of
every
family and
generation.
yeah.
There's like kind of like the Slayer bloodline.
And I didn't know. I didn't know until I'd already started. I wouldn't have started if I'd known it was cursed.
Well, did you know it was every generation?
No, I didn't know that until the wedding. Yeah, it was weird.
What a day to find out.
Wow, your father comes to you on the day of your wedding and tells you it's in your blood to fail. Now go give
Yeah.
your speech,
Yeah.
son.
Now go, yeah. Oh,
Oh, how are you going today, guys?
I got married. Nah.
And then your dad pretty brazenly hit on a vet during his speech while he was totaled.
Yeah, that was gross.
He was.
Whoa, what did
very
he say?
drunk during the
He
wedding.
just like called her hot, essentially. Like,
And then kind of like leered at her a bit.
Kinda standard father
did
of the
thing and like
groom.
looked at her and went like,
They like flirt a lot. It's like pretty uncomfortable.
Well-
Yvette's like made like a lot of jokes that have made me quite uncomfortable that I'm not convinced to jokes.
Well, your dad is just probably like a more powerful version of you. So
I don't want to deal with that reality.
That's like exactly what he is.
yeah.
He's got a lot of confidence, like not all of it earned, but like he's got a ton of it.
Yeah.
Coming out of the
He's
wazoo.
he's kind of like a broad guy. He's not bad looking.
It's a shame that he was so wasted during the speech because he's a good speaker, but he was wasted during the speech.
Man, your mum.
It was all over the place.
Yeah, he was. I know, dude. Like he was fucking.
Can we say what your mum said during the wedding
Yeah,
speech?
it's
You
fine.
copped a roasting from basically everyone who spoke.
I know.
What did his mum
I
say?
understand. my
Andrew's
life.
mum, Andrew's mum, who did a lovely speech.
It was very sweet.
She's
Yeah.
like a very nice.
She goes, Andrew's a very funny person, not necessarily on stage, and it got one of the biggest laughs of the night.
That's so funny. That's
Your own mother.
Yeah, happiest day of my life.
wow.
I'm like kind of glad Yvette didn't speak much.
It's just like you married the person that you love, but also heard all your peers just be like, "You shit at comedy."
Yeah. To be fair,
tapped
though,
off by your own mother.
to be fair, when you said imagine and paused,
Yeah.
that's the biggest laugh
And
that
that's
bit's ever
also
got.
still a
Yeah,
self-roast
that means
as well.
you're gonna do comedy for 2 more years thanks to that wedding speech.
Oh man, we'll see. I'll see in 18 months maybe. No, I'll keep doing comedy. Why not? What do I got to lose? I'm a man with nothing to lose.
Sure. Tangentially related to the movie we're about to discuss, does anyone remember when Lindsay Lohan hosted SNL?
Yes,
And
Harry Potter.
the Harry Potter
Yeah, the Harry
sketch.
Potter sketch. Yeah, I
No.
remember.
I was thinking about
Yeah,
that
I don't know
today.
about this.
Oh no, I remember the Harry Potter sketch.
Was she Ron?
No.
No, she was Hermione, but,
But
like
sexy
yeah.
Hermione.
Well, the joke was that like because Lindsay Lohan had just become like a huge sex symbol, and she just turned 18, I believe. So this would have been an
Emma Watson or
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So this would have been an SNL writers' room. I'm pretty sure like run by Tina Fey as well,
yeah.
where the entire joke was like Lindsay Lohan's wearing a very tight sweater, and everyone's
It's
like
got big-
dancing around the idea that she has huge titties.
It's like
Oh,
everyone's
maybe
doing,
I
like,
have heard of
magical
this.
puns
yeah,
on, like,
and like
breastus gross
yeah,
and shit.
Rachel Dratch is like hanging around being a mutant, and Jimmy Fallon's kind of like guffawing and while checking her out the whole time, and it's just like the tightest thing you've ever seen. And it just like you wonder about how that got through rounds of approval, dress rehearsal, by like a woman-led writers' room for the whole thing to be like bonerous biggest.
Lauren
could've
appears
been-
to
it
be
could've been-
thirstily looking up pictures from the sketch.
It could have
I'm
been
looking
Lindsay.
it up.
It could have been Lindsay's team being like, "We got to get the titties in the episode."
I mean,
Maybe.
thank God.
I mean, I wake up every single morning
It's
and
a
thank
great-
Christ.
Oh, hang on. I've seen
It is
gifs
great.
of this
It
before.
is a great sketch.
They are big.
yeah.
You do notice that in Mean Girls. I remember Mean Girls when I was watching it. It was like one of the first movies that I was like, redheads can be hot.
Same.
Should we do this dumb intro then?
Yeah, go.
Hello, welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All, a podcast about teen sex comedies and things thereabouts. Today we're doing Mean Girls, a 2004 American teen comedy film directed by Mark Waters, written by Tina Fey. Everyone knows what fucking Mean Girls is. I'm not going to read the rest of this. And we have a special guest today, Lauren Bonner. Hello, Lauren.
It's me. You've already heard so much from me.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I'm Andrew Hastings.
And I bet people were like,
I'm also Andrew
oh,
You got to say,
sorry.
we actually should say our names at the start of the pod.
Should you? Do people know?
And I'm Andrew
No one
Hastings.
listens to it.
It's
anymore.
everyone. It's every episode is someone's first episode.
Wow.
That's what people tell you.
Wow. That's so powerful.
Do you know who I stole that off? Stan Lee.
Wow.
Yeah, he
Rest
said
in
it.
peace.
Role writing, Marvel. Comics.
Wow. Our king.
All right. I've put it enough now, I think. All right. It's, come on. I get that we're doing Mean Girls, but please.
Oh, dear.
Nice break from last episode where we accused you of being a pedophile about 15 times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always funny.
Yeah.
It is.
Never gets old.
Jamie and I do not tire
I
of it.
managed. Yeah, I think this was like a movie I first saw, like, because I had a very age-appropriate crush on Lindsay Lohan. We're the exact same age.
I really,
I'm younger than you. What are you accusing me of?
I was really tempted to read out the entire.
Nothing. Why are you so defensive?
I'm younger than you.
Why are you so defensive? I wasn't saying anything about you.
I was really tempted to read out the entire discussion that you two had about
Lindsay
the
Lohan.
ages of everyone in this movie.
Oh, let's not read that out.
Oh, wow. How old were they?
Well,
Don't
so
worry about it.
Lindsay Lohan would
I-
have been 17 or 18.
I looked it up. So upon release, Rachel McAdams was 25.
Very age
Lacey
appropriate.
Chabert was 22, and the other two were 18. So while
Why?
filming, Amanda Seyfried and Lindsay Lohan would have been under 18.
Yeah, but we
think
don't
that's
have to
true.
know.
And
Yeah, we
you,
don't have to
I
know
think
that
they,
either.
I think they were at least 18, right?
Oh, they're heavily sexualized in the movie. Like,
Yeah, it's
thank
not
God.
our fault.
Oh, thank God.
What?
Someone please come in.
like the whole plot line is like Amanda Seyfried's boobs.
Yeah,
True.
that is a yeah.
I'm an enthusiastic fan of Amanda Seyfried myself. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
big
She
fan.
seems like a nice girl too.
Yeah, right.
You know,
she's
she's-
funny in the movie.
Mamma Mia.
Yep.
Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
Ooh, is she in that?
Yeah, she's.
She plays Jupiter.
Oh man,
Oi,
That's
oi,
not funny.
oi.
You didn't like that one?
It's not a joke.
You didn't like that one?
That's like-
That was all
I mean, I give you a long rope.
that's pretty good.
She's in the new season of Twin Peaks as well, I think. Amanda Seyfried, isn't she?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
very hot. I mean,
Amanda Seyfried.
yeah, come on, like
You want to talk about some Twin Peaks? There's some Twin Peaks on
Look at
her.
her, Twin Peaks.
Yeah, yeah.
all the blood's been cut out of Hastings' brain.
Okay, okay.
So, Andrew, do you want to go into why you thought she was hot in this movie?
Because
There's
she
no reason
is.
why. She's just very attractive.
No, you were. There was.
Hey,
You
so-
know, there was sort of a reason
what's
that you
the
were maybe
reason?
grappling
Hey,
with.
so-
There's
That's
a
sort of
reason.
a-
Oh.
There's a damning correlation between women I found attractive in movies we've watched and traits that they happen to be portraying.
If
in
they're
these
like
films.
dumb and
It
vulnerable.
seems
Yeah,
like
And
you
barely
might be
a-
getting
I mean,
warm.
like, I'm not
Get
proud
warm
of
up.
it. I understand the implications behind that. I understand why that's not good.
If you add
Often some sort of school relation, I think, seems to come up.
If you add in
Ooh.
barely of age, you've got it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is.
They keep putting these like real like dumb hot girls in movies, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man, it's
I'm not
Hollywood's
proud
fault.
of it.
huh?
Like, I don't
But you don't like the smart ones. Lizzie Kaplan doing nothing for you.
Who's Lizzie Kaplan again?
Janice.
Janice. She's not hot in
Normally,
Mean Girls.
I like,
But
I
they
do
purpose-
like
She
her,
is so
Yeah.
but not
hot.
in Mean
yeah,
Girls.
yeah, yeah.
And I like the emo girl in the movie normally.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Masters of Sex?
Yeah, she's hot. She's hot
Tremendous.
normally, but
Yeah.
not in Mean Girls.
Not in this, yes.
Yeah. I also
The hair
take
is
into
very
account that I
bad.
was like 13 when I first saw Mean Girls. Like, take
Yeah,
that into
she is.
consideration.
We are like this around. Lindsay Lohan's older than me, but like
yeah.
it's
She's like older than me. I
it's
think.
not crazy. Oh, and
Yeah.
then the year before Mean Girls was Freaky Friday. That was like Lindsay's first
Yeah.
kind of hot debut,
Yeah.
Mm.
I think.
Post Parent Trap.
But the one doing it for
Yeah.
me there,
I
Jamie
thought
Lee
you were
Curtis.
about to say
Ooh.
actually it's Parent
Oh
Trap.
yeah, pretty good.
Pretty
You
good.
really
You ever seen
sounded
True
like
Lies? Woo!
Yeah, I mean fine, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, this was a good one because like this is kind of like the correlation between horny boy and burgeoning comedy nerd. I managed
Yeah.
to get all my dumb 17 to 18-year-old friends to see it
Yeah.
because I was like, it's written by Tina Fey, and they're like, who's Tina Fey? And they're like, oh, titties, and
Well, I was
in we
about to-
go.
You didn't say what you thought of the movie. This is like one of my favorite movies. Like,
Oh,
I
it's so
fucking
good.
love this movie.
It's
It's
so
a good
good.
movie. I know. I was
It's so
just like,
funny.
I was like, this is like one of like the first like female-led, like female-written, like good comedy movies of like the new era. And then now it's like first 20 minutes. It's like, no, she got kind of titsy in Freaky Friday, but it wasn't until the SNL sketch that it was okay to look at them.
Lauren filling the Hastings role with that one.
If you track the timeline from, Parent Trap through, like,
Yeah.
Lauren just being like, it's okay, and I just be like,
Yeah.
I know.
Me and Lauren are starting a new podcast. It's the Dude Guides to Ladies in Cinema.
the ladies in it, and it's just tracking.
Yeah.
You're going like, okay, so the first time I was attracted to Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, and then the first time it was okay to be attracted to Angelina
Like,
Jolie.
the first time I told people.
When was
To
it
be
okay?
fair, that podcast is the first 80 episodes of this podcast.
Jolie's like,
She was never a child
She was
star.
never a child, so it's
No.
fine. Yeah.
And never a child at all.
She was born an
The
adult.
Yeah.
Olsen twins are the.
She was
you know.
born of a
Well, the
luscious
Olsen twins were
woman.
age appropriate for me as well because they were the same age.
Yeah, but you don't watch Family Matters now and beat off.
Well, they weren't in
Like,
Family
No.
Matters.
not
But they're
Full
also
House.
they're not
Yeah.
really.
Fuck off, cunt.
The Olsen twins aren't really like sex symbols though.
They were
No.
in 2009 or whatever, though, for sure.
There were like
Yeah.
a lot of
I was big into
there were a lot of internet countdown sites about the
Oh,
Olsen
fuck yeah.
twins when I
Oh,
was
yeah.
in year
That's
11.
so yucky.
Yeah.
Mm.
That is, yeah, it's like a crime.
Yeah.
Like, it's like-
That
it's
kind
like
of thing has that
problem.
gone away now? 'Cause
No, a kind of. I mean, it's like like people still talk like Millie Bobby Brown and stuff. People still do that, but it's,
Oh, yeah,
it's
there,
icky.
there- there would have
I
been
think
so
I've
many
seen
in our
that.
time,
Billie
like
Eilish.
Chloe
Yeah.
Grace Moretz, like
Chloe
fucking
Moretz.
Dakota Fanning. Like there would
who's
have
the
been so many
biggest,
grubby
youngest
people.
sex symbol in movies now, though? Like, who's the mantle?
I mean, I don't
gone to?
know.
I don't think we really Geraldine Fish. She's 24 years old. But
She's my age.
yeah, she's like mid-20s, right? But
Yeah, so like it would. So Millie Bobby Brown would probably be
Billie
close,
Eilish
right?
isn't an actress, but she's one of the biggest stars in the world right now, and she's 17.
Yeah.
And she's like, not.
It's like-
she like deliberately doesn't sexualize
Yeah,
herself. I know.
Yeah.
But like, they make her look pretty, and she's like meant to be interpreted as attractive.
But
Like,
Millie's got Drake
Yeah.
in
they
her
just don't make her
DMs.
sexy.
Oh, Drake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild.
That's a man
Man.
about to be cancelled.
Drake's, I think, been cancelled.
He's been cancelled.
He's been cancelled.
Yeah, but
I've
he keeps
been-
coming back with those smooth jams.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm convinced I've been shadow cancelled.
Why?
I don't know.
Because of
just-
all the stuff you
I
do?
think just because people don't look me in the eye when I talk to them. I assume they've just heard stuff that
That's
I
out
haven't-
of fear.
That's
yeah.
like things that aren't even true.
People respect you too much.
Yeah.
That's it. That was a good joke.
What
Come
joke?
on. Veronica Jupiter? Nothing? It's like a Sailor Scouts thing.
Oh god.
let's outsource all your stuff to Lauren now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was doing it better.
Oh. Alright, we'll say something fucked about women.
Rank them in order.
It's all women.
Rank every
Starting from
woman.
Eve, the first
Yeah,
woman.
it's a 3.5 billion long list, and that's only the living.
Yeah, we
category.
should start a new podcast where we just rank every woman in order.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, that'd be
I
fun.
like that it's the idea that you're the co-host of the podcast and you put yourself like 7.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm not the best. I know
Well, I'm
that.
pretty good. Like,
Not bad.
I'm
Not bad at all, you
7
know?
of 3 billion's pretty high.
That's incredibly high.
Presumably, you'd be going from bottom to number
No,
one.
Number 1 is number 1.
But you'd be finishing on number one. The last.
Yeah, you
so
wanna
I'm saying
finish on number
after
1.
3
So
billion
you'd-
names,
you'd-
we
Yeah.
go Lauren Bonner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you'd
Yeah.
hate to be the first step.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Imagine the
woman.
worst
the
woman.
worst woman.
It'll be like Hitler's wife, that chick who ghosted me in year 12, Rose Piper.
Yeah, very
Oh,
dirty.
man. Come on, dude.
Oh, it's wrong. Well, you've called me a pedophile for 15 fucking minutes.
You are a pedophile, though. I'm interested in this now, Lauren, because you just said it was, however facetiously or not, it was the first movie
Yeah.
that made you realize redheads were hot.
Yeah.
When did you first see this movie, and how old were you?
Oh. Well, actually, I think maybe Freaky Friday might have been, but Lindsay Lohan, this era Lindsay Lohan is generally that first thought. I don't know, because the movie was 2004?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like I saw it like when around it came out. And so that would make me, no, that's too young. I can't do maths. I was born in 1994. How old was I?
Okay, 10.
10?
Yeah.
I was like 10, because I was like, that's 10, isn't it? But I was like, that seems too young.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw it when I was 10.
Yeah.
Fuck, so much of it
Do
would
you
go
think
over your head.
It had a
Yeah.
positive or negative impact in your life that a primary role model for you as a young tween girl
was Lindsay
was
Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan.
Which she wasn't really,
She wasn't fucked up
she
yet.
wasn't fucked up then.
Right, but I'm saying seeing what happened to her, seeing her trajectory parallel
Yeah.
to your potential trajectory.
Which is far more successful than Lindsay Lohan. I don't.
Yeah, you were never in Mean Girls, but also I've never seen you asleep in a gutter. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah,
it's,
exactly. You know, I don't know, because I guess like I wouldn't have idolized her like lifestyle or known much about that. I would just idolize her like physical looks.
Yeah, right.
Which actually, watching Mean Girls, like she has quite like a healthy like body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not too skinny or anything.
Yeah. None of
Um,
them are psycho skinny. Regina George is like,
No, that was
like she's.
and I'm sure that's
but-
because Tina Fey wrote the film and she wouldn't
Yeah.
have cast. But also, I think that was just kind of after the super heroin chic phase and just before
Yeah.
it kind of
Yeah.
came back again.
Yeah.
So, like,
right.
They were all quite
A brief
healthily.
period in 2004 where Thick was sick.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't say they were thick.
No, of course
Yeah.
not.
But, like-
for 2004 just was thick compared
Slim
to 2001. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just-
2001 was like Kate Moss, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Mm.
But then, like, Mean Girls came around, Lindsay Lohan grew up, she had these tits, and they're like, well, we've got to change the culture to accommodate this.
Thank
Um,
God.
Thank God.
It was
yeah.
a really good moment. in
It was a great
history.
moment for young men like myself.
Mm.
Mm.
All right,
I,
there's 4 of us here.
Yeah.
Who? We're the plastics. Who are we?
Oh.
Regina.
I mean, like, pretty.
You're not the leader,
I'm
though. You
Regina.
can't be Regina.
I'm Regina.
No,
Yeah.
you're Karen, maybe.
Yeah, you're Karen for sure.
Which one's Karen?
The dumb one.
Yeah.
What?
What? You're Amanda Seyfried. You love her.
Yeah.
There's a 70% chance that it's Currently raining.
I
That's
don't-
such a good
I'd
joke.
probably give you Regina.
Yeah, I might
Oh
be
my
Regina.
Intimidating. Because I think I'm the frustrated one. I'm probably
No.
Lacey Shaber.
Hold on. She's the guest on the podcast and she has red hair.
But I don't think I have like Katie vibes.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, I'm Katie, but like,
No, I'm
that was
Katie.
just because I had
Yeah.
red
You're,
hair.
okay, you're the
Yeah,
naive.
You're
Katie's
Katie.
sweet.
I'm not naive. The sensible one, stopping her idiot fucking friends.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe having their 47th cone on their wedding morning.
Hey, whoa.
Actually,
come
no.
on.
Maybe I'm Karen, and maybe you're Lacey Shaber, Gretchen Wiener.
What is Lacey
I'm not
Shaber's
Gretchen.
thing in the movie, though? Like,
Is it just that she's like
She's
kind of
dumb.
fed up with the way that she's
Yeah.
treated? Which
She's
like,
spoiled.
I think
Her
she's
character's
spoiled,
spoiled.
but she's like quite neurotic and like.
yeah.
that
So
is
I
you.
think-
She's
yeah.
kind of a Jewish
And she, like-
caricature.
Yeah, I think you're
a little
Gretchen.
She
bit.
obviously starts. She obviously starts to get really fed up with how she's treated.
Yeah.
But
That's
her
you.
traits are she's rich and she's neurotic and she's supposed to be Jewish. Like, it's a little,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, there's a lot of
Also,
tropes
I
in
think
the
her
film. It's very
performance
basic.
basic.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
She plays it so well. Like that thing where she's like reading the poem about Caesar. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something Hastings would do as well.
Yeah.
It would be an acrostic poem.
Yeah.
about a certain someone that quit the comedy scene a few years ago.
What?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Someone you've been practicing doing it on for years.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. maybe you might find it in a book.
No.
Yeah, you'd be them.
Yeah.
So what were you like in high school at this point?
Oh.
But now we're just doing your
Now we're doing my podcast.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Save your
Stay
plugs till
tuned.
the end.
I don't know what your podcast is. What are you doing?
Oh,
It hasn't,
it's great. It's very fun.
Hasn't launched yet. But what was I like in high school? I did hang out with like some of the cool girls who like would have been the plastics early years of high school. But then around year 10, 11, I was kind of like hanging out with more like less cool, but like more interesting people, I guess. But I was never like hot plastic kind of girl.
They made fun of me for eating chalk until year 7. When I went
Yeah.
to high school.
Why'd you eat chalk?
I was 6.
That's funny.
6 years old, man.
You should be ashamed.
Having to defend this still. Like, I shouldn't.
Why are you
Ew.
like that?
I was 6 and I ate chalk, and they made like one time, and they made fun of me for another 6 years.
Oh, that's pretty brutal. If it was
That'd
one
be
time.
in the burn book. Yeah, burn book.
I was gonna say.
that would be your burn. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you go.
Oh, yeah, if that would
I'm
be-
sure whatever you have is
it's
much
the-
better than what I've
It's
got.
the same. But I was gonna say, like, what would be your
some
thing in
faith
the
in
burn
yourself.
book?
Oh, like what would people write about
What
you?
would people write about you in the burn book?
like now or high school?
Now, people in the comedy scene, what would they write about you in the burn book?
Oh,
Well, there was the time I sent a video
ba-
of myself jerking off onto a girl's face, Tom Moore.
Yeah.
That would be up there, yeah.
bad at comedy. I think.
man.
Good friend.
I should. Oh, thanks, man.
It's the burn book.
I was literally about to quit comedy.
I can see in his eyes when he's about to quit and how to reel it back in.
That also like that. This is something you've said, like bad at comedy, like that. You've had that rep. That wasn't just a really mean thing to say
Oh,
to
so
you.
we're saying the rep, not facts.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I have a rep for sending it. Well, I did actually do that, but it was by accident. Anyway,
That would
that would be it.
But
Just there'd be the stuff I've done. Because like everyone always asks me about the time I shat myself. People ask me.
But that's
about,
not burn.
Yeah.
Everyone I know is always talking about the time they shat themselves.
I
Like,
shat
just.
myself having sex. It's the coolest one.
Oh, no, that's not cool at all.
It can be cavalier as much as you want. It'll happen to you too.
It actually won't. So.
It's happened to me once in my life, and I was having sex with a woman who ended up at my wedding with a man who wore a Doom shirt to the wedding.
Oh my god! Even if I
That
did,
was with who it was, the Doom Man.
Yeah, that was this was a.
who's
This
wearing a
was,
Doom T-shirt?
This
Yes.
is rewarding people who listen to 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah.
The guy, there was one of Yvette's oldest friends.
Yeah.
They thought the wedding was on Sunday. Her and her boyfriend had a +1, so they didn't have a chance to get their like formal wear for the wedding. So they just came to the ceremony and stood in the back. But the boyfriend, who I've never met, was wearing a shirt for the video game Doom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And we were making fun of him like while that was coming down the hill.
I think he realized too.
Man, he might have. We weren't being very quiet.
No.
Well, that
And
is.
we were looking in his general direction.
That's crazy. Like how much of a hurry was he in?
Well,
What did he find out? Was he like hanging out at the Maritime Museum at the
told him the day
time?
before, like he could have bought a collared shirt from Kmart.
Yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is absolutely his fault.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Just get a collared shirt. Just get a button-up shirt.
I-
Just wear a black T-shirt instead of a.
But I absolutely reckon he was like, no, this will be fucking pretty cool, actually.
How did his girlfriend let him do that? What was she wearing?
She was just wearing like a very casual but like simple black dress. Like it looked like she was like going to the mall.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They don't live in Sydney, but I don't know what.
So they've travelled.
Yeah.
I don't want to badmouth your friends
I
that
don't
came.
really
Are
know
they
them.
going to listen?
I did have sex with her and chat myself, but other than that, I don't know her that well.
And she
Yeah.
came to the wedding. Like,
yeah. I think
Hastings
that's cool.
has had sex with a lot of people at that wedding.
Yeah.
if someone shot themselves while they were having sex with me, I would be so upset.
I'd leave the country.
I'd be so upset.
We had sex
I'm
again
back.
like 2 weeks later.
What?
She came back.
She came back.
She came back.
She wanted to see what it was like without the shit.
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
imagine sex good enough. I would end a marriage.
Honestly, it was like okay sex. Like it was not even like that good. It was like good. Like it was like fine.
Oh
That shit
my
really put a dampener on it
God.
for me.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah. it kinda
Yeah,
ruined
presumably
my
because
day.
it was quite watery. But
Oh.
let's get back to this burn book idea. I think it's quite
Okay, yeah.
interesting.
What would people write about?
I can't think of what people like. This is going to seem like I'm kissing your ass.
Rose, can I
but
guess what people would what?
Hang on.
You go.
No, let me get in.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the twinkle.
Yeah, let me get in something nice before you fucking slam me.
Alright.
I genuinely can't think of what people would write about you.
About Jamie.
Jamie, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know what.
Women.
I just make stuff up.
What?
yeah.
No.
Just racist.
Yeah, it would have to be like totally baseless.
No, I'd say that you're I'd like accuse you of being like manipulative. So like,
Yeah,
'cause if you
that'd
call
work.
someone a snake,
What?
it's such a vague
Puppet
insult.
master.
You can't pinpoint a specific behavior. But if you kind of just go, I reckon that guy's a bit of a snake.
Or it might
Like
be
it kind of
like.
catches on. Like I've done it to people.
Yeah, but you're not manipulative. Maybe because you run so many rooms, people could be like control freak.
Yeah, it
You
was
are
like
you are genuinely controlling.
Yeah, it could be like-
Because
you
everyone
are-
else does it badly.
Yeah, Jamie Kirk, frizzy haired control freak.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that would
Jamie's
be
a
it.
real like no, you'll do it wrong kind of guy.
Yeah.
And how many times have I been proved right?
And he's,
Yeah, I mean,
you're
like anyone
absolutely
hanging
right.
around with you as much as he does could be a real "you'll do it wrong" kind of guy.
That's fair.
You learn.
I
You
would-
learn how to manage people.
Oh, this is really going to upset me.
No,
but
no.
go.
Rose, I was going to say I would love to know what you think people would write about you. That's what I'm interested in.
Whingy baby.
Really? I thought you were going to say like cool taste in music,
I love that.
sexy and trans.
This is a burn book, not the compliment book. Obviously, that's what they'd say in there.
What would people write in the compliment book about you?
Bad at comedy.
All burns again.
Bad at comedy. Sent a video of myself jerking off into a girl's face.
Yeah.
No, I think it would say he's actually fine.
yeah.
And it would be
Fine
in
in capitals,
and it would
but
be in
like-
Hastings' handwriting.
It
Yeah.
would be like, no, he's actually like a fine dude. Don't worry.
He doesn't actually have
He's
the limit.
he's actually a good comedian.
Don't
He's
wo-
actually-
don't worry.
Comedy's hard,
Seems
guys.
Don't
sinister.
worry. He's actually an okay guy.
He's all talk. Like, don't like.
What do you think people would write about you in the burn book?
Like rude, maybe.
Rude.
Well, when I first met you,
Did you think I was rude?
I felt like you just despised me for no reason. Like you
I
you
hear
seemed
that
very cold.
so much.
Rose,
Yeah.
You also like. I think you do have some self-esteem stuff you need to work on.
Clearly.
What do you
But
thi-
I'm
what-
not the only person I've heard think that
No,
about
lots
you.
of people. People have told me that, like my friend Michelle Azevedo from Brisbane.
Michelle, she's great.
She's lovely.
Yeah, she's lovely.
We should get her on the pod to do a blink app.
Yeah, she'd be
I think
great.
we've done enough blink apps.
No.
But she told me
Wrong.
that, like, because she was like one of the girls I knew in Brisbane, like the people would meet me and then ask her, like, does Lauren hate me? And I was like, no, I think I'm just like a bit socially awkward.
Yeah, but also
Well, that's what
like-
it always is. Like Sean Smith once said that she thought I was standoffish, and I'm like, I just don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
no.
start a conversation.
I'm just uncomfortable.
A lot of people said I was standoffish when I met them, and it's because I was. I didn't respect them. And I didn't have time. It's like, yeah, you got to earn.
Can't-
You gotta
can't
earn.
got enough
Actually,
friends.
I would put that in the burn book for you. You are rude.
Yeah.
You
Like,
have
genuinely
to, you
very
have to
rude.
earn Hastings' respect before realizing it's totally unnecessary to
Yeah, that's the thing is like once I trust that you're not like once you the whole idea is like once you realize I'm useless, it's too late.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
You can't have anyone coming in immediately slamming you.
It's too late. You've already
Yeah.
fucked them. You've already shit in their bed. And then they go, oh, no.
Oh,
All right. Now let's get into the juicier content. We've said what we think people would write in the burn book about us. Now we all have to say what we'd write in the burn book about all.
All right.
No, let's not do that.
Daniel Muggleton.
No, I was just going to say about each other, but also I definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No.
Daniel Muggleton.
You just write Daniel
I'm just
Muggleton in
excited for him to come
everyone's
back to the
entry.
country.
Every page is
Yeah.
Daniel Muggleton.
No, I love Dan. I actually was talking to Dan the other day. It was a good chat.
You don't have to worry. He's here now.
I thought he
Hey,
didn't arrive
Dan,
for
how
a
you
few
going?
weeks. Oh, right. That's what you're doing.
What's
Hey
Is-
guys, actually, my special is actually airing on the ABC tonight.
Oh, man. I know what I put in your burn book. I got something right for your page, actually, I think.
Yeah,
what
no,
I got-
I assume. Well, like burn books exist now. It's just the group chat that you're not in.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Or
Yeah.
any number of.
Damn. Comedy's kind of like jazz. It's all about the group chats you're not in. No? Really? I thought I was going to get
No,
something.
it's just we've done so many of that.
I do
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
format.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's also the way that you like immediately are like,
You're so needy.
It took me a moment to even understand the link.
Maybe
of
that
it.
could. No, that's not really. You're needy. That's not really a burn.
Oh. It's not?
I like.
oh no, like
I think
being
it makes you kind of endearing.
being overly needy. I think is a burn. Like that's something I worry
But
about
I don't think
myself.
Hastings is overly needy.
I'm like needy and clingy
you
in
know, they straddle
relationships.
it.
I
You're
think that's
like,
a bad
but you're
quality.
theatrically needy.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
you play into it because you know.
Yeah, I
You
think
Yes.
know
because I know.
because
dude.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
Jamie-
you, dude.
But if I were to write in your burn book, Jamie, I'd probably I'd just make stuff up. I'm a bully, so I'd make stuff up. I'd tell people you had an eating disorder.
This is clearly not true.
You can go any
the other
direction.
way.
You can go any direction, Jamie, and also I don't know how it affects you. I don't know. You know, it's a complicated issue. That's what I'd make up about you maliciously, though,
That's cool.
but in a very woke way that like acknowledges the severity of that issue for other people.
Yeah, and at the
Yeah,
end,
is that, is that even an insult to be like, you've got an eating disorder?
Oh, the way I
Yeah.
write it. Jamie is, I'd like say it's like a racist eating disorder.
right, okay.
Yeah, you only eat gollywogs.
Oh,
No, the biscuit.
yeah, right. They are delicious.
Do they still exist?
They're
They're called
scallywags.
Scallywags now, and they're white.
Yeah,
They're white.
but they still look exactly the same.
Which I think is actually more racist because I'm always looking for diversity in my
To make
biscuits.
them white, I feel like that was something that went under the radar.
Yeah.
There should have been a junkie article about that.
Yeah, well, they're not like they're not like eating avocado toast and drinking lattes. They're just like vanilla biscuits. Like it's not like
Yeah.
they're not like racial.
The whitewashing
does
of
make them-
gollywog biscuits.
Well, I guess it's like inherently racial because the inverse was racial because we made it racial.
Yeah,
which
but now,
makes, like,
is there a chocolate biscuit that's
there's
just...
other chocolate biscuits that aren't people,
Okay.
just like like Oreos or whatever.
Wow, really?
Although I remember
There are chocolate biscuits? Fuck!
I
I thought I was eating shit the whole time.
I thought this was
I knew
crumbled
that I wasn't saying that
charcoal.
completely honestly, right? Like,
yeah, I know, but it was just you kind of like doing it in a mansplaining
Yeah, I know.
way. Yeah, I know.
Like,
It's just like, sweetie baby, you ever heard of a thing called Tim Tams?
Well,
See, I was doing
several
it.
Yeah, I
other
know.
chocolate biscuits.
One thing is, I remember, and this is racial biscuit related. I remember in the.
Are you about to
all
do a
sorts- I think
Seinfeld
they changed it to a call. I remember they used to call the chocolate and cream ones Creole biscuits, which I don't know if that's allowed.
Creole is just like a sort of French infused like culture in New Orleans.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's French and it's like an African American and French combo, right? Isn't that the
Yeah,
idea?
it is.
Yeah, but I'd like to call it biscuit. That seems like in Australia, in a Woolworths, in fucking. Manly. That seems a little reductive.
Yeah,
it
I
does,
guess
it seems
so.
weird. Like it seems a little weird.
Was
does.
it? Is it
I
based
haven't
on the
done
food?
it possibly. I haven't.
Is it chocolate?
researched. It is chocolate. Yeah, it's chocolate and cream, which makes me think maybe it's a racist thing as well. I should mention that.
Like a
It's
Wow.
Twinkie.
chocolate and cream biscuit.
Hang on,
It's
can
about
you
mixed race
can you
people.
just not like read and you were just looking at an Oreo?
It's the one of the all sorts that looks like an Oreo.
Dyslexic.
It's the one that has the same.
That one's called the Delta Cream.
It used to be called the Creole.
There you go.
That's why it's called it because Creole people live in the Delta.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah.
they,
makes sense.
they renamed it because they couldn't call it.
I did wonder why it was called that.
That
Who
is kinda
knew that
racist
there
then.
was so many racial political undertones
In
to
the
the
biscuit
biscuit
industry.
industry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's do a podcast like 4 white people
Yeah. Let's
doing a podcast about
Let's
racial biscuits.
figure it out.
Let's
It's all about like why
uncover
like
this.
biscuits are problematic and kind of like reinforce this idea of like white Anglo Australia.
Surely there's something wrong with the Monte Carlo.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's gotta be.
Well, James Bond's a misogynist, so
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wealth politics.
Yeah,
you
there's got to
know.
be some class stuff in there. Too,
There's
That
got-
right?
Anzac
yeah.
take I thought I just did was pretty hot.
What was that?
Oh, the idea of like Anzacs reinforces like sort of like a white English idea of like Australia and what it is to be Australian, and that is like exclusionary to like Indigenous.
It's crazy
and
that you
immigrant
don't
Australians.
write for Junkie at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because you can just make it up. Like you
yeah.
can-
But, like,
Junkie, are you listening?
But yeah, like the idea of like the
No,
Anzac
they're not
myth
because they
reinforces-
snubbed us on their podcast
Yeah.
list last year.
What did
We're not
they?
Well, we
Yeah.
we weren't getting a lot of listeners at that
Whatever.
stage.
Nor are we now.
We're getting some. We're doing okay, guys.
I've been rejected by Junkie. I'm just waiting for them to come crawling back.
Yeah.
Because I pitched them a bunch of stuff when I was like in my last year of uni, and then like I pitched some story about Tinder or something, and then they were like, "That's just not really the kind of thing Junkie would write about."
That's the tone they use.
Yeah, it was. That was so the tone of the email, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"You have a billboard in my uni that just says unisex Junkie." It just said sex.
Of course, that's
Just the
exactly
word.
the kind of tone.
And
I'm
I was
looking
like,
for.
what's
Yeah.
your tone?
Well, this is before the days of Punky, the offshoot.
Oh yeah.
That's where you gotta be
edgy.
pitching
You should
it
come
now.
up with like the wildest left-wing takes and just send them to Junkie. I reckon they'll eat them all up. And
Yeah,
then,
I
like,
think
in your
so.
byline, it should just
About
be
how
like
it ain't-
send nudes at Andrew Hastings.
That's funny. Then you can write an alt-right comedy special about
Oh,
it.
you fucking idiot.
I
We
saw
didn't
this
even
coming.
need to acknowledge
Hang on,
it.
someone get like a towel.
Getting it.
Andrew
Sitting
just
on a
spilled
towel.
his beer on the
Like
recorder.
on the recorder, so there is every chance that I'm just talking to no one. Right
Nah, it's fine. It's still running.
There was like a drip on the phone.
now. Like no, but the amount of times you do this is outrageous.
It's
Like
because you're too expressive.
I'd put that in a. You're an absolute klutz, actually. I'd put that in a burn book.
That's like not a burn at all.
That's incredibly ableist of you, Rose.
Such a klutz.
But
He
yeah,
is.
do you guys not think that the
He's
Anzac
careless.
reinforces white supremacy in the patriarchy?
I mean, like, I don't give a shit. So.
do you guys not do
Yeah.
Gallipoli at uni? I did Gallipoli at uni. So
I did
it's like-
Gallipoli in high school.
Yeah, right.
I did it at high school.
I
What did you
watched the
study at
movie.
uni?
Communications and.
Why was
North
Gallipoli
Cohen.
in that?
Did you finish that degree, Andrew?
It was something to do with like film analysis or something. I don't know. No, I did
Oh.
not finish that degree, Andy.
I actually said Andrew that time. But,
What's this page? There's a page in
oh,
front
that's
of
a,
me.
that's an episode.
Don't worry
that-
about it. We for an episode a couple weeks ago, we did a bracket of the best pop punk band of all time, non-Blink 182 division.
Oh, yeah,
Finally, that was the
yeah.
result we landed
And you
on.
wonder why I don't listen.
The
I
take,
don't
Ju-
want
just
to.
know that everything that you're saying right now could be going out to hundreds of listeners.
the takes are too hot. Yeah, that's right. Spill it in the whole glass, then pour yourself another drink.
Yeah.
I start my first day at my new job.
We need
tomorrow,
to
and
go
I'm
and
getting
put-
a little lit up.
We
here.
need to go and put you in the
Oh,
fucking
are you
naughty
doing the
seat.
fancy one actually?
Yeah, you
I'll
can
drink
have
the
some.
fancy one.
Anyway, the movie. Previous guest Steph Broadbridge messaged me something very funny when she found out this. She was like, "I'm the Amy Poehler character in this movie."
Oh,
And it
yeah,
does
yeah, yeah.
kind of track, but like,
Yeah, I buy it.
Yeah, a little bit. I sort of get what she means.
it is funny. Anyway,
Look, this is an
Steph's
infinitely
old as shit.
this is an infinitely quotable movie. What's your favorite quote from the movie?
Four for you, Glenn Coco.
Yeah, that is a classic.
Yeah,
Tim Meadows is probably my favorite character in the movie.
Oh, he's very,
Who's that?
very funny.
very woke.
Seeing canoodling at Aaron Samuel's party is my
Yeah.
favorite line. That's so
Mm.
funny to me. I was seeing canoodling. And I'm gonna get Mixer for this drink.
Do you know that
Or
guy?
just a line read of like, "We can keep them till 4. I will keep you here until 4."
yeah, that's a good one.
But I mean, the heavy flow and wide set vagina is always a classic.
Mhm.
That's a good one. Or even when Katie's like, "Hey, I'm having a few cool people over tonight, and you better be one of them, biatch."
Yeah. That's
she
so
doesn't even go
that's
here.
sickening to watch.
Yeah. And her like lips are so glossed
Yeah, she
up.
looks like fucked.
Yeah.
The
Oh my God, Danny DeVito.
Yeah, she doesn't
Pretty
even go
funny.
here.
Yeah.
It was like very popular with my friends.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
like
that's
there's
still-
countless memes from this movie. She
Yeah.
doesn't go here.
It's a really fucking
Like-
great film.
Oh, it's so good.
Do you find that because we don't know as women that the clicky stuff still applies even outside of high school?
Damn.
Would you know what was interesting is
Yeah,
like
this
in
is a
my
serious
in my
podcast.
grade, the Mean Girls were not popular. Like everyone hated them because they were just all so mean and
Well,
like
then
we
they're not
we.
the mean girls. They're just mean people.
Well,
but
that's
we,
kind
but
of
we got on as a grade, so we were just like, "Why are you all nasty? Like,
Yeah.
fuck you."
That's kind of, I feel like it's kind of the thesis of Mean Girls as well. Like the Mean Girls, the plastics were actually not liked. Really.
Yeah. That is kind of the
but I guess
point.
in all the other like teen movies that we watch for this, like the
Yeah.
Mean Girls are the popular
The popular
girls.
girls.
So it is kind of like it's like kind of like reign of terror hierarchical
Yeah.
kind of, and also like
Mm.
the sort of point of the story is like that just goes away as you get older.
Yeah, I
But
don't-
does it?
Does
Is
it?
my
Does
the
it?
question
That's a
I'm
good
positing.
question.
I don't know if it's gendery clicky or if it's like I think comedy
You know,
is
we've been
clicky.
accused of being very clicky by many people, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
People have like confronted me about it.
You're
Like,
your own clique kind
Yeah.
of thing, and then people like have cliques. I don't think
Everyone thinks that Melbourne comedy is really clicky.
I think we're clickier.
it's that clicky.
And better.
I think within women, if you're asking about women specifically,
Yes.
like I think a lot of the older, more experienced women, like I know for a fact, like they're really good at not being clicky. Like they're very
Yeah.
supportive
Yeah,
of
because
young
after
acts coming
there
up.
were so few of them, they had to look after each other.
Yeah, they look after each other, and then also like I know like when I'm because I'm newer as well. Like anytime I've met a more experienced or an older female comedian, they've only been like
Yeah.
supportive or like told people to book me or like
Yeah.
yeah.
So
looked
we're
out
the
for
clicky
me.
ones, Jamie.
Yeah, you're clicky.
We're fucked.
We're bitches.
Because we like we got like a guy called me out on a podcast for it. Like it's
Whoa,
Yeah.
women support women. What podcast?
I know
I
what
can
you're
just
talking
say
about.
it, right?
Yeah,
Why
just
do I
say it. Who
why do
gives a
I
Who
fuck?
have to
cares?
be-
They called you
Well, 'cause
out.
I just wanted to be the bigger man the whole time, so I didn't want to. It was on Sam. It wasn't Sam Menzies. It was on Sam Menzies' podcast. Someone like did a whole thing about how I was like fucking up their career and shit.
And said, fuck
I
Hastings.
rose above it. It's all fine.
Whose career did you fuck up?
I don't need to name them on the pod. I'm rising above them.
Yeah, and I guess everyone in
definitely name
Sydney
them after
comedy
we stop
knows
recording.
that Andrew Hastings can make or break your career.
Yeah.
The dumbest shit I've ever heard anyone say.
Like-
To be fair, part of it came from the fact that he knew Hastings was one of the people that booked Powerbomb.
It entirely came from that. I
How
forgot to
petty.
reply. He sent me a message asking for a powerbomb slot, and I just forgot to reply. And then
Yeah.
he went on a podcast. And talked shit.
Even if like,
He's not someone who gets booked a lot.
yeah. I think people do get like pissed off about rooms not booking them, but it's like even like Powerbomb's a great room, but if
Thank
there's
you.
like any room in Sydney that doesn't book you ever, like it's not going to mean the end of the world.
No.
Yeah.
It's one room.
Well, he had this whole like fantasy essentially about why he was failing. Fail is probably the wrong word, but like why he wasn't where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And there was a narrative construction around like how progressions between rooms happened. Like he thought we were basically feeding names to other gigs, which just isn't the case.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah, it's a pretty like it's just a sad.
Yeah.
person
A lot of it is
flashing out
assuming
a
we
little
have a lot more power than
It's
we have.
crazy.
bit. Oh, it's
Yeah.
Which is,
I guess you
and
feel for
we've got
people.
heaps.
I'm
We're
like-
career makers.
I'm like the fifth most powerful member of Powerbomb. Like I'm like Rose.
Excuse you.
But yeah, like it's whatever people are what. But yeah, it's like and
So you'd be in a burn book for that, probably.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
what? Someone went on a podcast and said their new catchphrase was "fuck Hastings." If that's not a burn book,
Whoa.
like, yeah, well,
You guys are the mean girls of Sydney comedy.
finally.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like when that happened, like a couple other comics, like
I think we all know who the
recently
mean girls
tried
of
to
Sydney
talk to me
comedy
about
are.
it. Yeah. I had people be like, "Well, it's because like you're always hanging out with your friends," and I'm like, "They're my friends. Like, what do you want me to? What do you want me to do?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that Mulaney joke. They're like, oh, you mean like having friends?
yeah. It is like that, Mulaney.
Yeah, like what's being clicky? Just like having friends that you
Yeah,
want to
not
hang
booking-
out with?
and not
Yeah.
booking bad comedians for good
I
shows.
think people view.
Yeah.
I think people use the word clique in like a pejorative term when it's a clique that they want to be in but
Yeah.
aren't in.
Yeah.
Like, which is like so hard because like people don't
Everyone does
understand.
want to be friends with
But it's,
Hastings.
just like, it's not even like everyone wants to be friends with whoever, but like sometimes like if a dude like sits down and is like, "Can I sit here?" You're like, "Yeah, of course. I'm a polite,
Yeah.
nice human being." But then like they keep inserting themselves into a conversation, and occasionally you're just like, "Hey man, like chill out a little
Yeah.
bit." Like this has been my friend of 5 years that
Yeah.
I've been.
Well, there was
Yeah.
that
Well, like
time-
feeling excluded is like the worst feeling, and like even if like
Yeah.
you're misinterpreting it and you're not being excluded, like feeling that way fucking sucks.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you
Can
remember
be
the
hard.
time, Charlie got into that argument with that guy. We should talk about Charlie in a minute.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
I have a Charlie story from last night from
A real
Taunce's
gentle Charles
birthday.
story.
Did you see Charlie on his way out of Taunce's birthday
Yeah.
last night when he was
He-
talking to the bar staff?
I didn't see
We'll
that.
get
He,
to that story in a
Oh,
minute.
no, what did
he
he
said
do?
goodbye to us, but
Yeah, he said
I'll
goodbye.
it's just silly. I'll tell you the
Okay.
story in a minute. He's fine, don't worry.
but Charlie always deals well with authority
There was a
figures.
time. Well, you've got the exact same fucking thing, dude. You've got
I know, and maybe I've been to jail for it, but
You've literally been to jail for it.
hey, let's be more specific. I've been thrown in the drunk tank for
Yeah,
it.
that's literally jail.
Wow.
But no, what happened last night? Not last night, sorry. This was like years ago, like a couple of years ago at Sweeney's. It was you, me, Charlie, and I think Alex or someone.
Yeah.
And like a guy who was his third
Oh,
gig came and sat down with us, and he didn't realize we'd all been friends for years, sort of thing, and he starts like calling us all fags and shit, like,
Yeah.
like joining in,
Like
sort of thing.
really roasting
And like we have to like
us.
start the
Oh,
conversation.
I like that you said calling us all fags and shit. Joining in, like you know what we were doing to each other.
It was a couple of years ago. We didn't know it was wrong yet.
You can call each other fags. But for a stranger to come in.
yeah.
And this guy and like Charlie had to like interrupt the conversation and be like, "Hey, just so you know, like we don't know you, and you're like, you know, you seem fine, but like you gotta."
And he got very
slamming us,
defensive
and he got
about
very
it.
defensive and
Oh,
very
yeah,
angry
yeah.
about it. And like we were trying to be like, "Hey, it's cool, just like calm down a little bit."
Well, comedy also just attracts kind of strange
Just
people.
psycho
And people who like feel like the world is out to get them. And
Totally.
And also people with a really inflated sense of ego.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew Hastings, nice to meet you.
Tell us a story about Charlie. So I gotta go in a minute.
So we were just at the pub last, like a few of us. Lauren, you were there.
Yeah.
I remember Rose, Jamie weren't, but yeah, just a pub for Sam Taunton, friend of the show's birthday.
You were looking at me like I wasn't there, even though you just said that I did.
Oh, just it's just communication. I guess I just look at the people I'm talking to. I guess I don't.
we were at a
No,
birthday.
you frequently do that. You look at Jamie and then say shit to me.
Yeah, it's
when we're
crazy that non-verbal. I can't explain how to podcast to you, Rose. I can't.
I don't think you could explain how to podcast to anybody.
It's such a wild allegation. I bear my
Tell the fucking
soul.
story.
I
Yeah.
bear my soul for this podcast. I put so much on the line for this.
What did he do?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're on the way out, and it's like the brewery closed at 10:30, and Charlie's one of
Oh,
those
so this
people-
was before we went to the Vic.
Yeah.
Right.
Charlie's a very sweetest, gentlest man you'll ever meet. But he just has a bit of, when he's had a few drinks, he has a problem with like people telling him what to do, like
Yeah.
bouncers and rude bartenders and things like that.
Or just regular bartenders
Yeah.
doing their job.
So
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
Someone could come up and be so nice. Be like, hey, like, sorry, we just need to move on a bit of that. Oh, yeah.
You want a bit?
Yeah.
So we've only heard Charlie's side of it, and even from just hearing his side, it's like, Charlie, you massively overreacted. He came over.
So no one saw this.
I was walking to the bar, and he was walking back from the bar.
Right.
And I was like, I'm just getting a beer, and he goes, bar's shut, dude. Good luck. And I was like, oh, okay. We'll go. I'm like trying to be like, we'll go down the pub then. What are we doing? And he's just like, yeah, bar's shut. Fucking crazy, right? 10:30, bar shut.
That is-
talking to me like I'm a fucking idiot.
That is exactly the attitude that he takes.
Apparently, he went on for 20 minutes.
Has he ever worked in hospital?
Yeah, he works in a cafe now.
Doesn't
He's
he
worked in a
know?
cafe for 10 years. He
Yeah.
says that gives him more reason to do it because he goes, you can still be polite to people. He doesn't like when people are rude to him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm always polite to my customers. Why can't you be polite to me? But also, he's a belligerent drunk.
Yes.
But anyway, he came. The story according to him is he goes, "Can I get another beer?" And they said, "No, we're closing." And he said, he apparently said quite nicely, but it's so early. And they said, "Oh, this is just like."
Everybody else that was there was like, what the fuck? Like, it's 10:30 and they're not
breweries
serving.
close early as
Yeah.
well. Like, but he made a he claims I don't know how true this. He claims that the woman then out of nowhere
of course, out of
nowhere told him that every pub in Marrickville was closed and every pub in Sydney shuts at about this time on a Saturday night. So for the next 20 minutes, like we walk out of the venue, I'm like, we're going to the Vic, like let's leave. We're walking down the street.
Yeah, another pub that's open.
We literally had to be like, Charlie, you got to shut up. Like this is so
Just
boring.
relax. Whoa.
Yeah, sorry, I just spat
It's
on you.
okay.
Yeah, anyway, like he was like down
That
the
arm's
street,
gonna start
going out of the
dissolving
room,
Still
being like,
mad.
Hey, look at all these pubs that are fucking open. Like, pointing out on- look, the bowling club's open.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that is classic Gentle
it
Charles.
was very Charlie.
We should get him on for 4 more episodes and
Oh,
interrogate
God,
him
another
about that.
disaster.
He was good on the mug off, and I was offended.
Yeah, he was trying. He was like,
making
this.
an effort and
This
not
was. Yeah.
Nearly unconsciously drunk.
yeah.
I guess we encourage the behavior.
Yeah, I shouldn't have given him all that weed.
Yeah, we're enablers. Anyway, I gotta
And then an
go.
entire
Yeah, I
bottle
gotta
of
go
wine.
hang out with my wife.
All right, what do
Start my
we-
new job tomorrow.
We're at 50
What-
minutes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's enough.
Yeah, it's hot.
It is hot. Apologies. This
And the
apartment's
weather's
very
hot too. The content.
Wow.
Searing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we
Uh,
barely spoke about the movie.
No, we spoke about the titties like the whole time. That is the
like
movie.
the whole Burn Book chat is a good offshoot.
Yeah,
of
that
Maybe
was
that's
good.
Oh, did you guys know that the Aaron Samuels, the main guy, now hosts like a show about competitively making cupcakes?
I did see that.
Really?
I was looking it up on
Cupcake
Wikipedia.
Wars.
I'll check it out.
And Cake Wars. It's Bigger Brother.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
happy
Have you
for
seen-
him.
What's the show where they like do the food challenges, but like then someone crashes a car into the kitchen to fuck them up?
Jackass.
Like it's like they do different prank. Like every segment's a different prank on the people cooking. So like
Gordon Ramsay's kitchen nightmares.
They'll like be like, oh cool, yeah, you got to make scrambled eggs, but the eggs are already broken and they're on the floor. Like they do like challenges.
I think this is a show you made
that.
up.
I
Yeah.
hate that.
It's pretty exciting to watch.
Oh god.
And then they get judged by.
Is
judges
it on
who-
Netflix? I think I've seen.
No, it's on YouTube.
No,
I think, but it might be. But
on YouTube. It's
Yeah, it's Logan Paul's
yeah. It's a guy makes it.
But then also, like, the judges don't know what challenges they had. Like, they don't know how they got fucked with. They just get told, that, oh, yeah, making an omelette. Just judge an omelette. And they don't know that a guy had a car crash while it was happening.
Ah.
Or they, like, weren't allowed to use their thumbs or some crazy shit. Like, yeah, it's sick. One guy had, like stuff, like, strapped to their legs while they were doing it. It's sick.
So anyway, that was Mean Girls.
Whatever. Bearing my soul for this podcast.
Lauren, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, just if you follow me on Instagram, you can see my shows or content or whatever. I've got a podcast coming in December.
What is your Instagram handle? That would probably be helpful.
Yeah, at Lauren Y. Bonner.
What's
And
the Y stand for?
Lauren Bonner.
Yvonne, my middle name. Yeah.
Weird flex.
I know. And I actually just started an email newsletter about the Saddle Club.
I was waiting for that one.
If you would like to subscribe
I'm
to that.
Low-key furious. I didn't think of this exact idea myself, but about Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
What is that? I don't even know what
Failed
that
Aaron
is.
Sorkin show that went for one season.
You can still do it. Just do it.
Feels like ripping you off.
Nah, give it. I would just
Give it a week.
encourage
Yeah.
you to focus on any project.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What's the name
Well,
of
you've
the,
got it on record, guys. I'm starting my Studio 60
He's
newsletter.
doing it. It's launching. Oh yeah, the
What's the
Saddle
name of the pod coming up?
It's called Were You Hot in High School?
No.
Give it a listen. I was on it. It was very fun.
Rosie does an app, so you'll be able to hear that when it comes out. But yeah, that's about it. Great.
Yeah, sick.
Come
What's
to
the other ones?
Powerbomb
Oh, yeah.
every week.
Yeah, comedy from Papagetti's every Tuesday. It's
from
an open
Papagetti's.
mic.
Fuck off. A comedy at Papagetti's. It's the third Tuesday of every month. This will have come out after Lauren presumably did a good job hosting.
Come down to Papa Getty's. You can usually I'll be reading some notes off my phone this week. I think if you want to come down, check it out. Just doing some new.
This is bullshit.
Come down to Puppetry of the Gettys. this
Yeah, I think I'm
Thursday.
fired from puppetry, by the way.
Oh, really?
You know what I think is telling is like the Papagetti's bit shits me more than you get shit by being called a pedophile constantly.
Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
called resilience, Rose. It's called comedy.
Stay strong.
Stay strong.
What
I've
else?
heard that it's hard, guys.
Yeah, it is hard.
Anything else?
Great. It's actually pretty impressive that I was able to overcome that and do it.
Depressing to us, but go on my Facebook fan page and
Oh my
leave
Lord.
me a good review because some turfs have been going on there and leaving bad ones, and that doesn't feel
Are
good.
they really?
Oh
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, not fun.
Damn.
So please go and change that.
Do you think that's
Psycho.
what's her face is, mates?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
apologize for my fiance and mother. Sorry, wife.
I can take my one down if you want.
Yeah, sorry, I've been getting all those women I know to write that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Alright, that's cool. What's that thing we do? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we said to the next step. So
Hold on, give me a minute.
no, you haven't.
Yeah, and
you
Hastings
haven't.
ruins it by doing like a semi-scripted bit that always fails.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall I say to the next step?
To the next step.
And now you have to.
To the next step.
I'm not a pedophile.
I disagree.